Good evening, I'm Haley Wilgus. Thank you for joining us on this Memorial Day. Scott has the evening off. Today, of course, serves as a time to honor those who have given their lives for our country. But it's also a time to stop and consider the sacrifices and losses that the loved ones of military personnel suffer. ABC 7's Kate Flexter joins us now with more. Kate.
Haley, it's a story seldom told, and that is the impact war has on families.
A quick turn around Sarasota National Cemetery on Memorial Day reminds you of the impact war has on not just soldiers, but their families. Some left temporarily without a child, a father, a mother, hoping for a safe return. Judith Shiramonte was a military wife for 20 years while her husband David served in the Army, and she says it was hard on her family.
My youngest was 1 when he left. And when he came home, of course, he didn't know Dad, and it's very hard for the children to, especially if they're little, to know Dad again.
David made it through his time in the military, but for him the ultimate battle came afterwards, a 10-year battle with cancer, and one he lost last year.
It's hard. We miss him a whole lot.
Local veteran Ben Nisley says that impact on families Shiramonte spoke of is often overlooked.
It's a part of war that's so seldom talked about, and that is the losses that occur from the perspective of a family. You know, a husband, a wife, children, a boyfriend, a girlfriend.
Nisley served in the Army for 28 years flying medevac helicopters, but was shot down and missing in action during Vietnam. At the time, he says his family was simply waiting to see if he was alive. He says those unanswered questions take the largest toll on families.
Often the surviving family members do not get adequate feedback as to what happened to their loved one. And it's very sad, and it's very traumatic.
In his time in the military, Nisley says he's had to notify families of those losses. And he says it's important to remember them this holiday as well as those who gave their lives.
We would not be the country we are today were it not for the sacrifices of all those folks, you know, who died in the interest of freedom and liberty around the world.
An estimated 1.1 million Americans have died in combat throughout United States history, many of them leaving behind families. Back to you.
A major sacrifice for them as well. Thank you, Kate. Meanwhile, ceremonial events all across the Suncoast in recognition of this Memorial Day. Families lined the streets of downtown Sarasota this morning, waving the American flag, of course. This year's theme was Legacy, a Debt Owed. Local veteran service organizations, law enforcement, ROTC units, fire departments, students, and color guard marched down the street in honor of our fallen heroes.
It's encouraging that they know what the history is about and what happened and what we went through. And World War I and World War II, we got to remember those things. It's very important to everybody.
It is so important because those people paid a tremendous price for us to be free today.
I want to honor those that sacrificed for our country.
Government officials, veterans, and families wrapped up the parade with a ceremony at Five Points Park. Hundreds showed up at Patriots Park in Venice this morning to lay wreaths for those who have made the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom. Several veterans organizations attended, and there were veterans from several different wars, from World War II to the Iraq War. Fallen veterans also remembered today in Manatee County. A service was held at Veterans Park in Bradenton. Many of the vets honored lost their lives in the Vietnam War.
I lost many friends. It's something that we really have to think about deep into our heart. As you enter the military and you learn so much more after you're in, you're dedicated to serve wherever, however, and to obey whatever.
It's a day to honor those who have gone before us. I had an uncle who died in World War II. My grandfather was in the Navy. My husband's uncle and his father were in the service. So for me, that's what it is. It's a day to honor those who have served.
The Manatee Veterans Council moved the Vietnam War Memorial from the Manatee County Courthouse to Veterans Park. The Korean War Veterans Association also moved their monument to the park. The city of Northport marked Memorial Day with a ceremony at Veterans Park. The ceremony was hosted by the American Legion Post 254. It included a presentation of wreaths from various veterans organizations. Hundreds of people came out to show their respects to our fallen troops, including a big class of young Marines. A Venice World War II veteran who flew combat missions over Europe is honoring his fallen comrades. We spoke today with Ralph Cook, who served from 1942 to 1945 in Holland and Germany. He was part of the bombing raid sent to Japan, but before the raid could begin, the bomb was dropped on Hiroshima and his mission was canceled. He says much of his time serving, especially one particular raid, still haunts him to this day.
Truckloads of GI corpse offloaded them like down a slide and then put them out into the, laid them out into the field. It's a time to be grateful for what we have and grateful for those who have made it possible.
Cook shares his memories, he says, to honor the friends he lost 70 years ago. A great ending to the story we first told you about last week on the discovery of a Purple Heart ring. The owner has been found. The Marine Corps Vietnam Purple Heart ring was found buried in the sand off of Venice Beach. A diver found the ring, which was covered in barnacles. After cleaning it, the diver noticed the initials JVA 1966 to 1967 inscribed on the inside. And those initials stand for John V. Aragona. Some friends of the diver happened to know Aragona and were able to get in touch with this Sarasota veteran. Aragona is currently in Washington, D.C. He will get the ring back once he returns to the Suncoast. What a happy ending. Now let's head over to Steve and get a check on our forecast.
And a timely happy ending on Veterans Day, of course. Currently, it's 88 degrees at Sarasota Bradenton International Airport. The dew point 68. We have a west wind, a sea breeze at 10 that will die down during the evening and become calm pretty much overnight. Our high this afternoon, 89. That's only 1 degree warmer than normal. Last night's low 2 degrees above average. It's been as hot as 97 back in 1955. Now, that sea breeze I told you about did trigger some fairly hefty thunder showers that passed from Manatee County into the heart of our viewing area and have dissipated in the last couple of hours. There are also some strong storms to the south of us from the Atlantic sea breeze down around Fort Myers and Naples. They are also gone. I think there's a chance we'll see some through the evening, but it's going to be mainly dry for the next couple of days. Coming up later on in this broadcast, not only the complete forecast, but also a look at what our hurricane season might become a little bit later on. Ailey?
Thank you, Steve. A game changer for the city of Palmetto. Straight ahead, what a federal grant means for this lot that's just been sitting there for nearly 2 decades. And later, a trip back in Suncoast history, how the area has deep connections to our military.
The official Suncoast Storm team at ABC 7. We're here for you.
Didn't matter if you were in the industry for 30 years or it was your first day on the job. Everyone had the same mentality, to put the customer before the commission. It's simple. We just market your home better.
So many possibilities worth exploring. Minnesota Flooring.
Looking for carpet? Look no further. Minnesota Flooring has Smart Strand carpet as low as $1.79 per square foot. Installed, no add-ons or extras. Unbelievable? Minnesota Flooring can have in-stock carpet installed in your home in 48 hours for as low as $1.99 per square foot. Don't miss these prices. Visit Minnesota Flooring today.
US Med has great news for anyone living with diabetes.
If you have Medicare, private insurance, or prescription drug coverage, US Med will ship a new glucose meter right to your home.
And shipping is free.
My new meter uses only a speck of blood, so it's less painful than my previous meter.
If you have Medicare, private insurance, or prescription drug coverage, you're covered with US Med. We're welcoming new patients, even if your current provider can't supply you anymore.
I don't even have to test on my fingers anymore. I can test on my hand or forearms, and it's more accurate than my old meter.
So call US Med today, and you'll have a choice of 2 great meters.
One that actually speaks your results, or a meter so small it fits on the bottle of strips.
Act now, and US Med will include a free prescription discount card. We'll also send you a free diabetes cookbook. This is your opportunity.
So call US Med today.
You'll be glad you did.
At Sunset Subaru in Sarasota, it's all about getting more for your money. More years, more miles, more 2016 IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus winners than any other brand. Stop by to see our new state-of-the-art showroom today, and you can lease the most award-winning small SUV on the planet, a new 2016 Subaru Forester, for just $229 a month. Complimentary maintenance included at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Has chronic knee pain, arthritis, or osteoarthritis of the knee robbed you of your mobility? Would you like your pain-free life back again? Then call now. You may qualify for a new non-surgical, drug-free treatment for knee pain. Even if you've tried other treatments with little or no relief, you may still be a candidate for our Advanced Arthritis Relief Protocol. This emerging treatment is covered by most insurance, including Medicare. Suffer no longer. Call right now and get your mobility back.
Palmetto owns a piece of property along the Manatee River that will now be receiving a federal grant. ABC 7's Dwayne Lindo explains what that means for the city.
This piece of property, once the site of a railroad storage yard, has just received a grant that requires a 20% match.
With funding of $200,000, it's a matching grant. So the city, the CRA has already funded the $20,000 matching in order to try and clean up the property. So
a property that has had issues with hazardous soils in the past.
We'll be working in conjunction with the EPA and making a proposal for what all needs to be done there for the use that we plan for the property.
This grant, according to Groover Bryant, will only benefit the city of Palmetto.
It really helps to escalate the property values. It improves the values all around it, and it makes it of use to the community and of some vibrance to the community.
But before a cleanup can be implemented, the city will decide on potential uses for the property.
We've spoken in the past about a dog park, some type of recreational property, 1.5 acres, of course, and we've even thought about it as something of a transportation hub.
Either way, Groover says the city is lucky to get a piece of what was awarded around the country.
I understand nationwide, I believe they've awarded $55.2 million in grants for this type of brownfield cleanup, so we're delighted to be part of that.
And Palmetto was one of 218 brownfield projects approved by the EPA this year. Back to you.
Thank you, Dwayne. We'll be right back with your forecast. Steve will have your Memorial Day evening forecast right after the break.
Hi, I'm Joan London, and if you're worried about your parent or a loved one living alone like I was, and you want reliable senior care information, then call A Place for Mom, the nation's largest senior living referral service. You'll get free information on assisted living, Alzheimer's care, nursing homes, even important financial information.
They had obviously researched every place, not just given me names. They found me a place for what she could afford, and it was magnificent.
We're now very confident that she's safe, and they just helped every step of the way, and I can't thank them enough.
So if you're struggling to find reliable senior living information, call A Place for Mom. This is a free service, and you can trust them to help you.
Call right now to get your free Senior Care Compass ebook. Find out about the 5 best-kept secrets on financing senior care and assisted living.
Call now, 800-290-0352. 800-290-0352.
Annual wellness visits are important for healthy living. When you schedule your yearly exam, MCR Health Services is here for you.
With over 25 healthcare centers featuring multiple services and 8 pharmacies, we are here for you. Call or click today.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. AndServices.com. AndServices.com.
Whether you're a homeowner looking for a professional installation or a contractor looking for top quality products, Sarasota Glass and Mirror can meet your every need.
For 42 years, Sarasota Glass and Mirror has been the area's premier supplier and installer of quality glass products for your home or business. As an authorized PGT WinGuard dealer, we know how to protect your home with everything from the PGT WinGuard impact-resistant windows and doors to shower enclosures and decorative mirrors. The Sarasota Glass and Mirror team has the knowledge to tackle any project.
Discover the biggest savings of the year on some of America's favorite vehicles during the Drive and Discover event going on now at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota. Drive away in America's hottest SUV, a new Jeep Cherokee for just $19,999. Get a new 2016 Jeep Patriot for just $14,999. Or shop the area's largest selection of new Jeep Wranglers and get the lowest prices around. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota.
Did you know you can make an instant harness by simply wrapping the leash around your dog's chest and up through their collar? Contact Canine Corral today about a no-pull harness that will make you smile. Canine Corral, where the love is.
Well, we are 2 days away from the official start of the hurricane season, but the hurricane season really started in the opening days of this year. I think it was January 6th we had Hurricane Alex affect the Azores, and of course we just had Bonnie over the holiday weekend drench the Atlantic coast, and there's signs that maybe next week we could have some tropical development coming out of the Caribbean that we'll be looking very closely. But the National Hurricane Season thinks that this is going to be a normal season, even though we have got an advance on this already with 2 named storms. But they also don't have any years in the past that look a lot like this year, so it's kind of an educated guess. But given that, they believe there will be anywhere from 10 to 16 named storms, and of those, 4 to 8 could become hurricanes and 4 could be major hurricanes. And to look at what our hurricane season outlook for the Sun Coast would be, we have to really look out thousands of miles in all directions. And of course, for the last year, the big weather headline has been that near-record El Nino down across the Pacific, and its effects last year kept the hurricane season quite inactive because it had a subtropical jet that was strengthened by that warmth in the tropical Pacific, and that created record wind shear that prevented any tropical cyclones from forming in the Caribbean, gave them a record wind shear down there, and also kept fewer storms across the entire Atlantic basin. So they think this year, because of a developing La Nina, that indicates less wind shear, which means less interference with those Atlantic hurricanes, and theoretically it could mean more and stronger tropical storms possible over the Atlantic basin. A little normal, but things are anywhere but normal right now across the Atlantic. We have much cooler than normal temperatures up in the northern part of the Atlantic and warmer than normal from Africa into the Caribbean and Gulf of Mexico. And some forecasters think that could mean a stronger Bermuda high this season, which would create stronger trade winds blowing off Africa that would prevent any storms from developing or becoming very strong, giving us a quieter than normal season over the Atlantic. But it's not the case for the Caribbean and Gulf of Mexico. And this is the area they think are most likely to produce storms, which is actually where they're most likely to occur during a normal year in June coming up. And entering the Gulf, and the areas of greatest threat are from northern Mexico to the Florida Panhandle. That doesn't mean that we're out of the woods here on the Gulf Coast, because we're predicted to have a normal season, and normal means normal, meaning we could get one. Go back to the graphic one more time. There's one other area that we're concerned with, and that is where we just had Bonnie form. Another likely source area is between Puerto Rico and the Bahamas, and that could affect storms along the Carolina Outer Banks, very similar to the path we just saw with Bonnie.
That's right. And Steve, like you mentioned, a normal, that doesn't mean let your guard down, don't be prepared, and that's why we have our hurricane special coming up this Wednesday at 7 o'clock right here on ABC 7, and Steve, Bob, John, and Wendy
will all be there.
And we will have a phone bank so that you can call in if you have questions. As some of our viewers have called and said, you know, I couldn't make it to an in-person hurricane seminar. Well, here's your chance. It'll be just like that, but here in the studio, and you can call with your questions and watch all of our experts as well. So.
Exactly. Now I have to do the weather.
Now you do the real weather, other than hurricane season or current weather. So
taking a look over the bay, we had, if you were looking westward from our webcam, from the Van Wezel webcam, I'm sorry, I didn't advance it for that, you couldn't tell that there were storms behind the camera looking eastward across the interior of our viewing area, and that's where we had afternoon and evening thunder showers develop, and they're pretty much maturing. I think they're gone for the rest of this evening. There could be a spotty shower moving westward over our viewing area, but right now it's 88 at Sarasota, Boca Grande 82. Out on the beaches where it was another great beach day, 81 at Longboat, 82 at Siesta, Osprey 82, and even down in the southern part of our viewing area, near perfect conditions, 87 at Port Charlotte at this hour. Now here's the satellite and radar view. We have that Atlantic sea breeze that came and brought heavy storms right along southwest Florida. We had a Gulf sea breeze that kicked in as well and pushed storms to the east. Where they collided, they were especially heavy down in southern parts of our viewing area. And I think they pretty much matured through the afternoon and evening hours. There could be one or two that could pop up for the balance of this evening. If we take a look at our forecast model for the night, the RPM shows that for the next hour or so, we could have some developing and moving eastward or westward into the Gulf. But once they're gone, skies will clear. And tomorrow afternoon, we should have mainly fair skies with less of a chance of afternoon evening thunder showers. Out on the water should be another beautiful day. West winds northwesterly 10 knots, seas 2 feet or less with a light chop, and Gulf water temperature 83. Here's my 7-day outlook showing that we're going to have the odd shower pop up each day right on through next weekend and early part of next week, and maybe next Tuesday or Wednesday we'll be talking about something tropical out there in the Gulf. We'll let you know. Haley?
Hi, I'm Linda Carson. Coming up, we'll tell you how an Army Air Force base became SRQ.
The race for 2016 goes west. Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders fighting for California and trying to tame Donald Trump. Plus, a scary good time. Climb along with us to one spooky New York rooftop. This week, watch World News Tonight with David Muir.
Is your mop a dirty, disgusting mess? You need the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System, the only mop and bucket that spins the dirt away. A system that cleans practically anything and everything with super absorbent microfiber. Dip it in the washer side and the mess releases into the bucket. Then place it in the dryer side and push on the pedal. You get a clean mop pad that's practically dry and ready for more. And your hands will never again touch a dirty, disgusting mop. The heads are washable and reusable. Get the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System for just 2 payments of $19.99. You'll also get a Sticky Buddy, the reusable sticky roller that picks up pet hair and lint and washes clean in seconds. You can take advantage of our 2-for-1 Pick It Up special and get a second spin mop set. Just pay additional shipping and fee. And we'll upgrade you to free priority handling. So don't wait. Order now.
Call 1-800-394-1524 to get your Hurricane Spin Mop double offer. So hurry and call 1-800-394-1524. Call now.
Sunset Fiat is Italian style. Sunset Fiat is fashion forward. Come see the all-new Fiat collection at Sunset Fiat with new 2015 Fiat 500s priced from $12,999. Sunset Fiat is cool and sexy with freedom to move and room to evolve. Visit Sunset Fiat in Sarasota or shop online at fiatusaofsarasota.com.
That's Chuck, proud homeowner, regular do-it-yourselfer. Today he's attempting an electrical repair. This is Pablo. He's an electrician with Mr. Sparky. How's he doing, Pablo?
Terrible, Mike.
Yeah. What Chuck doesn't realize is that almost 68,000 home fires are caused every year by electrical problems.
What?
If he doesn't have the proper tools and training, he's liable to start the next one.
Little help here!
That's what I'm talking about.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
You might want to write that number down.
Hey, I'm really glad that you're taking a few moments to check out this video about the ministry of First Sarasota, Downtown Baptist Church. I'm William Hill, lead pastor here at First Sarasota. For the last 15 years, it's been my privilege to share in the life of this faith community, a community that centers itself around faith, friends, and family. Indeed, it is a ministry that's been in existence right here in this wonderful city for over a century.
Memorial Day means a great deal here on the Suncoast. More than 80,000 veterans make this their home. And at one time, there were 2 Army Air Force bases right here. ABC 7's Linda Carson joins us with more. Linda.
Haley, the Suncoast was hit hard by the Great Depression. We were just starting to recover. WPA money was building Mayaca State Park and the Lido Casino when World War II began. Then everything was directed toward the war effort. Sarasota was just starting to build an airport with WPA money when the war started.
The airport was then taken over by the Army Air Corps, and they decided to go ahead and finish building that. And the same thing happened in Venice. So we had 2 Army air bases.
At one time, 3,000 troops were stationed at the Sarasota base.
We used it as a bomber base, and it was the 97th Bombardment Group.
3,000 troops were also stationed in Venice. The Suncoast joined the war effort full force.
When they, were putting out for then volunteers to start joining the forces, the population of Sarasota in 1940 was 16,106 people. That's it for the whole county. And by the end of the war, 2,285 men and women had volunteered and joined the forces. So that was 15% of our population.
And those back here at home did their part with war bond drives on Main Street, women's groups sewing and repairing uniforms, and young women helping out at the USO Center at the Municipal Auditorium.
They had regular dances there, so the young women would have a card stating that they were part of that group that were there to help entertain the troops. So they had to be good girls, they had to become, very upstanding people, and they had to make sure there was no dating going on afterwards.
Longboat Key was undeveloped at the time, so it was used for bombing practice.
They weren't real bombs per se, they were bombs that were using, and they would give off white or black smoke. So then they would be able to track the targets.
But even in the midst of that frightening time, those stationed here were falling in love with the Suncoast, hitting the beach and Lido Casino in their free time, and after the war, many of them returned to raise their families here. The Army Air Force bases closed at the end of the war, and they were turned over to the cities of Venice and Sarasota, and eventually they became the airports that we know today. And a lot of those soldiers came back, and a lot of those people came back and made their homes here. So they're still here today.
As we mentioned, we have many tens of thousands of veterans right here in the Suncoast, so it really does have a rich history.
They have good taste.
They do. You're right. Thank you, Linda. Have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you back here at 11.